Okay, today I'm going to talk about division. So division is often left last, after adding and subtraction and multiplication. We sort of leave it for some reason to the end. But division is really important. We use it all the time. That's the thing we do when we're sharing stuff out. So division is really important. So division. Okay, so first of all, what I want to talk about is some other words that are the same as division. Okay, so we can also use the word share. Or we can say divided by. Or we can say group. Okay, or we can say sort of share equally. They're all kind of words that mean the same thing. Okay, so I'll just change the colour here. So, for instance, if I say 14 divided by 2, I'm really saying what happens if we've got 14 shared by 2. Okay, it's exactly the same. Or 14 in 2 groups, or 14 shared equally. So when we say what's 14 shared by 2, we say it's 7. And 14 divided by 2 is the same. It just means it means the same. So there's some other words we can use for the word division. Divided by, shared, a group of, shared equally. Okay, that can really help. Okay, one of the things I want to talk about is it's the opposite of multiplication. Okay, so if I've got some balls, in this case, I've got here a few. I'm just going to change the colour of this. Okay, so here I've got one lot of 7 here. Okay, that's one lot of 7, but I've got another lot of 7 here. Okay, so I've got 2 lots of 7, and we say that's like 2 times 7, and 2 lots of 7 equals 14. Okay, and division is just the opposite. So I can say, let's just work that back the other way. How many things have I got together? I've got 14, and I'm sharing them or grouping them in 2 lots, and that's 7. Okay, so 2 times 7 is 14, but 14 divided by 2 is 7. And they're kind of just the opposite ways of looking at things, and it's the same kind of thing. So you'll notice in here there's a 2 here, and a 2 here, and a 7 here, and a 7 here, and a 14 here, and a 14 here. So we've just kind of switched the problem round. One of the things that I find really helpful when I'm doing these is I think about families of facts. Okay, so I can say there's 2 lots of 7, and that's 14. Or I can say there's 7 lots of 2, and that's 14. I'm just reversing them round. Or I can say, what's 14 divided by 7? And that equals 2. So if I had 14 things and I shared it between 7 people, they get 2 each. Or if I have 14 and I share it or divide it by 2, they get 7 each. Now this here is called a family of facts. So they exist for all the times tables, and that can really help you if you're trying to figure out some of your times tables. Okay, so notice here, like the problem I said before, there's a 2, a 2, a 2, and a 2. There's a 7, a 7, a 7, and a 7. And there's a 14, a 14, a 14, and a 14. So in that's just 4 ways really of saying that same thing that we looked at on the last slide. Okay, and you notice the two times tables ones that they end with 14, and the two division ones they start with 14. Okay, so hopefully that might help you with your thinking about division. Okay, so things to remember are, number one, there's some different ways of talking about division. We can say it's the same as shared, or we can say it's grouped. We can also talk about division being the opposite of multiplication. It's just looking at the other way around. And to help us with that, we can look at families of facts. So I hope that is helpful. Cool.